Hello and welcome to another update video about silver. Let's talk about the silver chart. I must admit I have neglected it a little bit, but also not many people were interested in silver in recent weeks. So I'll just see it when I look at how many people are watching the videos. Gold was much more in demand than silver. However, obviously also silver deserves an update. Yeah. So we want to label the chart with the latest information we have. The scenarios that I have on the chart are basically still valid. So let's talk about the short-term bullish scenario, which, however, I don't like the look of anymore. In the short-term bullish scenario, we are dealing with a third wave up. Okay, haven't labeled the whole thing. Basically, it would be a third wave up. This here would be a wave 2 low that formed in October, and as long as that low stays intact, a third wave could send the price. I think we can just measure that with our magic fib tool there. Take the length of one. So yeah, it should take us to $33. So a third wave should really send us higher. But so far this year, or last year even, yeah, silver, while it performed quite well, sort of until April, May, it started this long and ongoing correction together with gold. And the silver chart, to be honest, looks a little bit short-term, a little bit more bearish than gold. Whereas the silver chart looks long-term more bullish than gold. Anyway, what are we doing here? So the idea is that, I mean, this was a corrective structure to the downside, okay? So that's a, obviously a corrective structure. It's a three-wave move that I count an ABC structure. Now the idea is that this is either wave A of a larger wave 2, which would sit here. So the support area remains relevant between $21.42 and $19.14. Ideally, in whatever silver is doing, it should really not break below $19.14, or something more bearish is playing out, and I would have to probably start to get rid of the bullish scenario on the chart. Okay, so that's the key level. Not the make or break point. I mean, invalidation point is down here, right? But, that's too late. Okay, then we're already in the September-October low, so September 22 low region. So again, what do I prefer? So I was looking for a more direct pathway to the upside, just because this wave 2 was definitely sufficient in terms of duration, also sufficient in terms of depth. And the problem is that this move up looks like a three-wave move, right? So it could be a 1, a 2, a 3 in a diagonal. This could have been the 4, absolutely, even though we broke below the trend line. And now with the wave 5 to come, for example, because it's a diagonal, we're looking for an ABC structure. That wave 5, I mean, could be an A, B, C. I mean, that's possible, and I will leave it on the chart, but it will get invalidated, this idea, with a break below the wave 2 low, and that's at $21.86. So that's the key level that really shouldn't break. I mean, ideally, it doesn't even break below $22.50 in this scenario, but it probably will, the way this is going. We had a break of a trend line and now a retest from below. And if, for example, next week we see a break below this B wave low at $22.66, yeah, then we should come down. And that's probably going, and I'm leaning towards that scenario now. We're dealing with this ABC structure and a wave 2 that's going to be a little larger. But I don't think it can count anymore as an ABC. I would have to probably use a WXY, and I'll show you why. So obviously this is a corrective structure that counts well as a wave W. X wave, three-wave move, perfect. Yeah, and then the Y wave, I mean, this just has very much a very much three-wave-like appearance. So let me put that in yellow, and then we've got a WXY. It, to be honest, doesn't make a great difference, but from looking at the proportions, this move down would then have been an A wave, the move up a B wave, and we could now come down in wave C. So this is sort of what I'm going to watch primarily, but I would like to have a little bit further confirmation. So a break below $22.50 would confirm this further, whereas if we now in the coming weeks break above the recent high at $24.60, we'll get this fifth wave up. I mean, then looking at the microstructure in the yellow wave C, that's a bit tricky. Let's see where we start. Up here. I mean, it looks a bit like an ending diagonal which is unfolding here. So if we have initially here a 1, 2, then this might be an A, B. So yeah, A, B, C of wave 3, 4, 5. Let's see if, but that wouldn't even be enough in terms of length. So let's first measure where the C wave actually should land, then we can put the waves where they should be. So take the length of wave A, go to the high of B. So yeah, it should really, I mean, minimally get to $21.43. But if it's a WXY, we would normally expect the Y wave to go below the W. So essentially, if yellow plays out, I'd like to see it below $20.65. Yeah, so more in the region of the golden ratio here, $20.45, the 1.618 extension at $19.60. So I think, I'm not entirely, very comfortable with the structure, the microstructure. I don't really get a very reliable microstructure here unless we have, and that's possible, that this is a 1, 2. Yeah, possibly. I mean, then it might be an impulse down. We'll see. That will probably clarify itself next week. This could be another 1, 2. But the micro count isn't so important here. 3, 4, 5. That probably fits better. Oops. But yeah, the micro count is not really important here. What is important is, let's see, that went a little high, but did not cut yet into wave 1. Yeah, not convinced by this count, to be honest. Another idea is because the circle wave 1 down looks really a bit like a 3-wave move that we're getting, obviously, as I said initially, in a diagonal. Then this might be A, this is B of 3, and the C wave down is next. That's probably the most reliable count, actually. In which we also get a resistance level. By the way, this count is invalidated above $24.48. It's always worth knowing. And then resistance is here between $23.56 and $24.09. So a break above that would already indicate that maybe this C wave up is unfolding. Huh? So literally, I think the next week will be a decisive one. If we get 5 waves up, that would be a leading diagonal. We would have further evidence that white is playing out. Then a corrective pullback could be the next setup. Alternatively, or in the yellow count, if we come down in the yellow count, then the yellow box could be the next setup as well. Okay, that's my update about silver. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you're interested in daily updates about the S&P 500, as well as regular updates about stocks, check out our stocks and S&P 500 service. You'll find the link in the description. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.